Hello and welcome to another video from the Silver Citizen. Remember, if you like what you see, hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a video. Now let's get into it. This is the video about the third game in the Champions League group stage this year against FC Copenhagen at home. A game which we won 5-0. A lot of good points. It was nice to see Sergio Gomez play at left back and Cancelo play at right back. I mean, I'd prefer it to be not because Kyle Walker's got a groin injury and could be out until at least December. But it was nice to see because the team looked more balanced defensively, in my opinion. 5 left-footed players, 5 right-footed players. So that was nice to see. I thought Jack Grealish was fantastic, if I'm honest. I'll be happy about that, but no, I thought he had a great game. For me, man of the match, I think the only thing missing from his game was a goal or an assist. And when he actually assisted Sergio Gomez, it ended up being an own goal, so he didn't even get an assist for that. Started out pretty much like Dab. City on top, took 7 minutes. Another time when we could have scored before we actually did. Not often I'm going to say this season, but Ireland was a little slow to react. And by the time he had done, Cancelo's, well, I call it a shot. I mean, no, it was nowhere near target, but it was already going past the goal by the time Ireland reacted. Pretty much like in the derby, after 3 minutes we should have scored and didn't. And then, something I will say more than once, and I probably already have, with Ireland's first touch, 1-0. 7 minutes. This time when Cancelo put it across, Ireland did get his foot to it, and it flashed past the keeper. The keeper, I might add, that if it wasn't for him, this could have been double digits. It was nice to see Cole Palmer get 45 minutes. Rico Lewis got some time. I said in a previous video that, I think it was the transfer window video, that if Rico Lewis was the reason City allowed CJ Riley to go, then fair enough. I'd seen him play for the under-18s. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He captained them last season to another trophy, another national championship. And I said that if Pep Guardiola thought to himself that Rico Lewis is further along in his development than CJ Riley is, and out of the two he'd rather keep Rico, then I don't mind CJ Riley leaving. But I'll reserve my judgment on that until Rico Lewis actually gets given a shot. And I don't mean just, a debut in the Champions League. Joshua Wilson-Esbrand, I said at the start of the season, I wanted him to be backup left back. So I'm quite happy that he's getting game time. That was all good stuff. Kept a clean sheet. There was a lot of positives, a lot of good things to come out of this game. I know people have been harping on about Jack Grealish's price tag, which I don't really get. I mean, my dad, for example, turned around and said, I wouldn't mind if we spent 25 million on Grealish, but I do mind we spent 100. Why? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. It's not our money that's getting spent, it's the sheikhs. We're at a time in our clubs now where we're making a profit. So it's not as even if we have to up the ticket prices to make sure that we can, pay for Grealish and pay for Ireland and pay for Kevin De Bruyne and all the rest of it. We don't need to do that. Tickets are pretty much the same as they were 5 years ago. Because we're self-sustainable. We're actually spending money that the club's already made. So the ticket prices ain't going up. So I don't get that. My beef with Jack Grealish is when we bought Jack Grealish, I was asking myself, is he better than Jesus? Because Jesus had said he wanted to play on the wide, he wanted to play as a second striker. Is he better than Mahrez? Is he better than Cole Palmer? Is he better than Phil Foden? Is he better than Raheem Sterling, Ferran Torres, James McAtee? And I'm not even including in that Gundogan, Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. And for me, I was saying no. The thing that changed my mind about the Sterling aspect of it, I mean, in January we got rid of Ferran Torres. We sold Sterling and Jesus, and McAtee went out on loan, so his career's over with at City. But the thing that changed my mind about is he better than Raheem Sterling was the Manchester derby last year. I thought that was the first game Jack Grealish played, and I actually thought, you know what, I can see why we bought him. Because he is better than Raheem Sterling. He played the year before against Liverpool, gave Trent Alexander-Arnold the runaround. Dragged Van Dijk out of position more times than he cared to remember, and more times than the media will let you remember about it. Because Van Dijk's the best defender the Premier League's ever seen, apparently. 2 great years, he's the best defender that's ever walked the face of this planet, as far as the media are concerned. But in that game, Jack Grealish, I think it was 7-2 or 8-2, he destroyed him. And in his first Manchester derby, he gave Aaron Wan-Bissaka the runaround. Raheem Sterling never gave Aaron Wan-Bissaka the runaround, whether it was when he played for Man United or whether he played for Crystal Palace. He couldn't even give James Milner the runaround when Milner was playing right back. And I thought, no, Grealish is probably better than Sterling. And there was times he was getting into positions where he probably could have shot and was looking for a pass that got blocked out or something like that. I'm thinking, well, he's less greedy than Sterling, which will help the team as well. So that's what changed my mind about that. But other than that, in Newcastle last year, I thought Grealish was pretty poor. So 2 good games. No. Even if one was against United. No. But this year, he's stepped it up. And I can actually see Pep's genius working. Because he has improved drastically. It's like Riyad Mahrez. In his first season, he was poor. Second season, he was brilliant. He's just got better ever since. Grealish is the same at the minute. And I thought, yesterday against Copenhagen was by far and away his best performance in a City shirt. I thought he was fantastic. I mean, I thought he had a great game against Man United, but he stepped it up against Copenhagen. Whether that's because, well, no, because the quality of opposition is probably the same. But no, it was brilliant. Like I said, the only thing missing from his game was a goal, and it wasn't for want of trying. But I think the only time that he should have shot and didn't, can't remember who he tried to set up, but nothing came of it, because can't remember who it was. I'll have to watch the game again. It escapes me. But I remember him trying to set someone up, and one of their defenders got in the way, so the ball never actually reached its target. I think he probably should have shot. But he didn't. But no, he could have had an hat-trick if it wasn't for the goal. Then Garland could have had 4 goals if it wasn't for the goal. He only played in the first half. That goal kept him in it. As mad as it may sound, by winning 5-0, that goal kept him in the game. But no, I thought we were fantastic all over. It was nice to see that Edison was able to stay awake. You know, I mean, I think they had 3 shots in our box. And 1 shot which happened when Rico Lewis had come on. And Rico Lewis ended up getting his foot on the ball and went out for a corner, but defence was fantastic. Midfield ran the show. Ireland, I definitely think he'd have got an hat-trick if he'd have stayed on. But it was nice to see Cole Palmer getting given 45 minutes. And I said to my dad the other day that I actually think Pep might play more kids once City have won the Champions League. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'll wait and see. But the reason I say that is because Barcelona won the Champions League in his first year of managing them. In his second season, he broke through Busquets. In his third season, he broke through Pedro. And in his fourth season, he broke through Thiago. And then he left. Bayern Munich never won the Champions League, and he never broke through anyone. City haven't won the Champions League yet, but he's only broke through Phil Foden. And this is a guy who he claimed right from the start was the best player he'd ever seen. And this is coming from someone that coached Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Ribéry, Robben, Muller, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva. And he's turning around saying that Phil Foden's the best player he's ever seen. He kind of put it in stone that he's going to have to bring through Phil Foden. But I mean, it took him a while. I think he was waiting for the Champions League to be won. I don't think McAtee will come through. I think his time's up. Same with Delap. They've gone out on loan. Their career's done with. And it'll end up being pretty much similar to Brahim Diaz. Because when Phil Foden was coming through our academy, there was 3 players in that team that you looked at and thought, they've got a chance. That was Sancho, Foden, and Diaz. And for me, Diaz was the best one of the 3. Foden was second best, Sancho third. But Diaz was the best. Madrid came in for him as a Madrid fan. He wanted to go. He made 3 substitute appearances. Probably played in his time in Madrid the equivalent of about 38 minutes. And then he got sold to AC Milan. He's played more at AC Milan, and now he's getting back up to the type of form he was showing in his last season at City. So his career went back, and now he's building it back up. McAtee and Delap will be exactly the same. No offence, but whereas Cole Palmer and Phil Foden are training with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, getting coached by Pep, James McAtee is playing with the likes of Oliver Norwood and getting coached by Paul Hickenbottom. And he's not even playing games, he's sat on the bench watching them. He'd learn a lot more watching City, but, you know, there you go. His career took a nosedive as far as I'm concerned. But I think if City were to win the Champions League this year, I think next year you'll probably get Cole Palmer coming through. I think if we don't, it might be a couple of years. If he doesn't go out on loan. Or permanently sold. Anyway, far as the game was concerned, it was a fantastic game. And if we perform anything like that on Saturday, I think we'll batter Southampton. In fact, I think if we play anything like we did in the last two games against Liverpool, we'll beat Liverpool in front of a crowd at Anfield. Because I honestly can't see anything but a City win if we perform anything like we did in the last two games. Time will tell. I mean, people can go on about last year, but you look at the last year against Liverpool in the two games. Alright, we drew them 2-2. But, let's be frank, if we had someone that could finish like Ireland, we'd have battered them. We'd have absolutely battered them. The amount of chances we squandered because they fell to people that aren't goal scorers. They score goals, but aren't goal scorers. Ireland won't miss those chances. You talk about the FA Cup. We had Stefan in goal. We had Aki at centre half. I'm not being funny, but last year our two main centre halves was Laporte and Diaz. He had Aki and Stones. Cancelo was playing left back usually. He had Zinchenko. Plus Stefan, so that's 4. Cancelo was playing right back instead of left back against Liverpool in the Cup. But that's 4 people that didn't really play that much in the back 5. Then he rested Rodri for Fernandinho, who, as great as he was, Fernandinho, at 37 years of age, he wasn't going to keep up with Liverpool's midfield. There was no Kevin De Bruyne. Our leading goal scorer last year was Riyad Mahrez. He was on the bench till the 83rd minute. It was basically a weakened side because we played our strongest side against Atletico Madrid, and Liverpool were able to rest their stars because they had an easier game. Their game was already won in the first leg. And as for the Community Shield, we weren't ready. I knew that before the Community Shield kicked off. The City players weren't ready and wouldn't be match fit and match sharp until I said probably West Ham. Not West Ham, Crystal Palace. Well, it's been and gone, Crystal Palace. And judging by the 2 games that have happened since we've come back from international duty, our players are up to speed. Our players are hitting the ground running. And I fully expect 2 victories in the next 2 league games, if I'm honest. In fact, I expect City to win every single league game until the World Cup starts. The way we're playing at the minute. But, 3 games, 3 wins. 11 goals scored, 1 conceded. Happy days. I also think, as much as all this talk is around Ireland wanting to go to Spain and wanting to go to Italy and wanting to go to France to prove we can score in other leagues, I think if City win the Champions League in the next 3 years, he'll stay here and break every Premier League record there is that he wouldn't have broke within 3 years. But anyway, until Southampton, and possibly the 4th hat-trick at home in the Premier League, back-to-back hat-tricks by Erling Haaland. Adios, amigos.